Alright guys, I'll show you how to create this Instagram feed page. Once again, many of you are still having difficulties in creating the layout, so I've decided to do this, go over this again. I'll be very quick. So yeah, let's get started. So as you know, we need the atoms, all of these icons and the logos and the images. They need to be atoms, and I have already gathered them in this atom section, and I have created them as components, because these components, we are going to use this in multiple places. Therefore they need to be instances, they need to be components, and we are going to use their instances in the pages. Okay, so first thing first, we have these atoms, so let's go ahead and create the template. So here, frame, go there, and then iPhone 15. This is screen template. I'm going to add auto layout, vertical 0, 0, 0, centered. Okay, like so. Now in the reference, we see that there is this status bar on top, right? So we are going to create an instance of this, right? Okay, it's called status bar. So here, okay, so status bar, this is the instance, so we're going to put it there. It's kind of short, so we're going to say fill container. The next thing we need is Instagram, this the top navigation. So yeah, I'm going to create that top navigation. So to do that, I have this logo, Command C, Command V. It makes an instance of that, right? And I also need this vertical, this chevron. Sorry, this is component. This is an instance. Okay, so this is the instance of these two on the left and these three on the right, these three icons on the right. So heart, message, and the plus. There you go. These are the instances that they go to the right. So we need to group these two things on the left. So to do that, I'm going to add auto layout to these two things, right? Instagram and the chevron. Gap between items, I'm going to say 8, and centered. These three icons, I'll also wrap them in the auto layout, centered. Gap between them 16. I'm going to call this icons, and this is brand. And now I want to wrap both of these things together to create the top nav. So select both of them, add auto layout, right? Centered. Gap between items should be auto, and no padding. Let's see if we need. And then we want to create this as a component. Okay, so I'll call this top nav. Yeah, we do need some padding, and we'll see that in a moment. And this should be organism. So after we have this organism, top bar component, right? Command C, Command V, and here is the instance, right? So this instance, we need to make sure that it fills the container and it hugs the content. Yeah, we do need some padding left and right, or top and bottom. So you go to the main component, and 16 on left and right, and 8 on top and bottom. Okay, looks good. Right, the next thing we need is the stories tray. To create the stories tray, I have already created this profile, add story profile, and add story component, right? Add story, and I have also created the component for this story profiles. So what I'm going to do is I'll simply Command C, Command V, this is an instance, so I will add it here, right? And also add an instance here. I need multiple of these, right? But not vertical. I want all of them in a horizontal layout. So I'll select all of these, add auto layout, horizontal, right? And then 16 pixels. No, not the padding, actually I meant 16 pixels gap between items. And this is not looking good. To fix it, I'll say fill container, looking much better. Now I'm going to add some padding on the top and bottom and left and right as well. Okay. So one thing that I want in this is I want a little bit of spacing, the spacing between this profile and the story profile, right? The add story and the story profile. It should be a little bit, this space needs to be bigger, not for everything, but only these two. So to do so, let me first rename this stories, right? To add that little bit of space between this add story and the rest, I will add auto layout to this item, this add story, add auto layout, and simply, give it a padding, a little bit of padding to the right, 8 pixels. Yeah, that looks about right. So okay, yeah, that's done. So stories, right? And we want things to scroll horizontally in this section. So to do that, we first need to say clip content, right? And then go to the prototype, change no scrolling to horizontal. Now if you preview this, you'll see that this thing is scrolling, which is good, right? Now the next thing that we need to add here is this feed, the feed post, right? So to create that, we want this name and this little profile and the dots. This I'm calling it a feed header. We want a feed header. We want the feed image with this icon, and then we want this feed footer and the feed text. We want all of those things, right? So to do that, what I'm gonna do is I will I've already created this this profile icon, which looks like this, right? This is a molecule, so Command C, Command V. Oops. Oh, I should go to the design. So this is an instance of this component. Next thing I want is what is it called? Name sponsored. Name sponsored. Okay, left, and I think they need to be, yeah, the small is fine. The color needs to be black. The name should be small bold, and sponsored is fine. If you want to make these name and sponsored as 2 layers, that is fine too. For example, you can do this like that. So there you go, right? And then wrap both of them in an auto layout. So you add auto layout, you can call it text, right? And this one, this is the text, and this is the profile image, right? Sorry, text, and you wrap them in an auto layout, so like so. Okay, 8. Maybe here we need a little bit of spacing, so 4. Okay, yeah, that looks better. Okay, once we have this, we need this icon, right? Command C, Command V. I'm simply getting an instance of that, so put it here. Now this is called left of the feed header, and this is the icon. So we want all of these things in one layer called a feed header. So select all of them, add auto layout, right, and call it feed header, and we want this centered and auto. Okay, yeah, that's good, right? Now we don't want to create this as a component because it doesn't really make sense. I might have told some of you that we can create this as a component, but it's not necessary. It doesn't hurt, but it's not necessary. Okay, so we'll leave it as is, as a auto layout layer. So the next thing we need is this image and this icon. So Command C, Command V. So here is the instance of that image, and then instance of this icon, right? And I will also add auto layout to it. Doesn't matter if it is horizontal or vertical. What we need is this post image. We don't want this to have like absolute positioning. Instead, we need the post profile, this icon, to have the absolute positioning, and we'll position it somewhere like so, right? This I'm going to call it feed image. Okay, and now feed image is fixed, which is good. I'll say hog content and hog content, and then post image should be fill container and hog content. Yeah, the image, post image should fill container and hog the content. Now the next thing that we want is, and also this doesn't need to be a component. We are going to create a component of all of these things together, so we don't need to create these as individual components. Okay, so the next thing we need is this layer, this thing with heart, comment, and send. Heart, comment, and send. Let's get the comment and send, and we need the heart, interactive heart, right? This like button. So to get an instance of that, you go to the assets, right? Button, insert an instance. It's here. There you go. What else? We need the bookmark. So bookmark is here. Command C, Command V. The instance is here. Now select all of these. The same concept like this. We want this on the left, this one on the right. Okay, so select all of these, add auto layout, 16 pixels, and let's call this group left feed footer left, and this is just, yeah, the bookmark icon. So okay, now we want this in one layer. So to do that, just grab them all, both of them, right, and click on add auto layout, centered. That's it. Should be auto, gap between items, right, and everything is good. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to create a component, the feed component, this whole blue thing as one component, right, containing this feed header, feed image, feed footer, and the feed text. Oh, I forgot the feed text. I'll create that. But we want this whole thing as one component so that we can use instances of this component. Okay, so to do that, let me add the text first. This also, I'm gonna rename it to feed footer. Okay, we have feed header, feed image, and feed footer. Now we need some feed text. We need some feed text, and feed text has 100 likes and username Lorem Ipsum blah. Okay, there you go. So we need to align it to the left. I want this to be paragraph. Oh, that's super small. Okay, it's all right. Let's see how it looks like. So fill should be black, right? And the 100 likes has paragraph bold. Username should be paragraph bold. There you go. And I am going to wrap this into auto layout, right? Auto layout, I'm going to call this feed text, and I'll make sure that this has fill container and hug contents. And in the feed text, I don't know if we don't need any gap between items, but the padding, we definitely need 16 pixels left and right, and I don't know about that yet. We'll see, we'll find it out. Okay, all right, or you know what, let's take out this for now and we'll see later on. So to create a component with all of these items, these layers, you select them all and then create component. All right, this component, you can name it as feed. Okay, feed component, and the spacing is kind of off, so you can add auto layout, which will fix most of the things. Fixed is fine, hug is good. You don't want gap between items to be 32. We want that to be 0, probably 0. Okay. And we want to start, adding this padding edge in each individual layer inside of that component. So inside the feed header, we want 16 pixels padding, because we know that when we add it in here, we will need that spacing. Okay, you know what, let's first add it and then it'll have like a better clarity, I think. So let's go here, create an instance of this component, right? This is the instance. Go here and put it there, so it's kind of wider than the screen. So we'll say fill container, which is good, right? Now you see that it's kind of edge to edge, right? We need some padding. So for padding, we'll go to each of these layers and start adding padding. You may be able to, let's see, you can also add padding to the entire thing, but that will mean that this image will also get that padding. So this is what I'm talking about. Look, see, and you don't want that. Let's see if you are able to give it a minus 16 as padding. No, it doesn't work. So you don't want this, right? You want padding in each individual layers within this component. So let's do that. 16 and 8, and then for image you don't need to do anything. For here, 16, 8. Okay. Oh, okay. And each of these layers, I don't know why they have fixed height, but we want it to be hug content. Hug contents and hug contents. Okay. Now this looks good and it should reflect over here. Perfect. Okay, looks good, right? Now we want